Most people type one lazy sentence into ChatGPT, get a mediocre answer, and assume AI just isn't that useful. That's not an AI problem, that's a prompt problem. I'm going to show you 3 exact prompts, word for word, copy-paste ready, that turned hours of actual work into minutes. Not write me an email type prompts. Real ones. The kind that make people ask how you're suddenly getting so much done. Why most prompts waste time instead of saving it. Here's the actual problem with how most people use AI. They type something vague. Give me content ideas, or help me plan my week. Get a generic, forgettable answer, and then spend just as long fixing it as they would have spent doing it themselves. The prompts that actually save hours have one thing in common. They front-load context and force a specific structure, instead of leaving the AI to guess what you actually wanted. That's the entire difference between a prompt that wastes your time and one that gives you back hours. Prompt 1, the decision maker. This is for anyone who's ever spent an hour going back and forth in their own head over a decision that should have taken 10 minutes. Copy this exactly. I'm trying to decide between option A and option B. Here's my situation. Describe your actual constraints, time, money, goals. Give me a pros and cons list for each, then tell me which one you'd pick in my position and exactly why, in 3 sentences or less. The part that actually matters here isn't the pros and cons. You could have listed those yourself. It's the last instruction, forcing an actual opinion, not just a neutral list. Most people ask AI for information and still walk away just as stuck as before, because a list doesn't make a decision for you. Forcing a direct answer does. Real example, use case. Deciding whether to post a video now or wait. Choosing between 2 thumbnail concepts. Picking which side hustle to focus time on this month. Prompt 2, the meeting in a box. This one replaces something that used to take a genuine back and forth conversation, either with a person or with yourself. Thinking out loud for way too long. Copy this exactly. Act as a specific expert, e.g., YouTube growth strategist or small business marketing consultant. I'm going to describe my situation, and I want you to ask me clarifying questions first before giving advice, one at a time. My situation? Describe what you're working on. The trick here is telling it to ask questions first instead of just dumping generic advice immediately. Most people skip this and get a wall of generic tips that don't actually fit their specific situation. This prompt turns a one-shot answer into something closer to an actual consultation, and it takes the same 5 minutes either way, except now the advice is actually usable. Real example use case. Working through a content strategy problem, pricing a freelance service, figuring out why a video underperformed. Prompt 3, the repeat task killer. Last one. This is for anything you do repeatedly and keep reinventing from scratch every single time, instead of building a system once. Copy this exactly. I do. Describe a task you repeat regularly every week. Build me a reusable template or checklist I can follow every time so I don't have to think through the process from scratch. Include the exact steps in order and flag anything I might be forgetting. This is the one that actually compounds over time. A single good answer saves you minutes once. A reusable template saves you the same minutes every single week. Forever until you decide to update it. That's the actual definition of saves hours. Not one big win, just the same small win over and over without you having to think about it again. Real example use case, a weekly content planning checklist, a client onboarding process, a pre-upload video checklist so nothing gets forgotten. Why these 3 specifically? Notice the pattern across all 3. None of them just ask a question and hope for the best. Each one forces something specific, an actual opinion instead of a list, clarifying questions instead of generic advice, a reusable system instead of a one-time answer. That's genuinely the entire skill of prompting well. It's not about knowing secret magic words, it's about being specific enough that the AI can't get away with giving you something generic and useless. 3 prompts, copy-paste ready, and all 3 work in ChatGPT, Claude, or basically any AI chat tool you're already using. Save this video. If you know you're going to forget the exact wording later, you will. Comment which one you're trying first. Subscribe for more real, usable AI tactics. Next up, we're finally connecting AI replies into that Discord bot from earlier in the series. See you there.